As a curious person, I've wondered about other people's perceptions about college, and I came across r/CollegeRant, a subreddit with 74,000 weekly visitors and about 750 weekly contributions. So today I'm going to be showcasing the many problems of the industry via this subreddit. I know Reddit is not the most accurate way to assess a society's opinion of something, but assuming these are all true, this really goes to show how problematic college can be. Just a disclaimer, I'm new to Reddit, so I have trouble identifying fake posts. So if I end up reading a post that you think is fake, just let me know why down in the comments. I'll link the subreddit in the description in case people have stories to share from there, but please don't harass anyone. Now, let's get started. The first post is titled, "I have college depression and I'm in my senior year." It reads, "I'm 27 years old. I don't want to go back to school on the 20th of January when classes start. I'm tired of having to work odd hours at night to accommodate my strict school schedule during the day. Tired of being broke, tired of not having time to hang out with family or friends since I have an opposite schedule from the rest of the world. I would push through it if I had a job lined up after graduation, but I don't. I have no internship. I'm not even sure why I went to college anymore. It just feels like I wasted my time. I could have just worked my office job and moved up within the company, but I decided to go through to school for computer engineering and it may not even work out." Okay, so there's one reply at the moment, and the commenter is in a completely different situation from OP. It is a fairly recent post at the time I'm recording, but still think it's valid. At this point, I feel bad because I don't want to go back to college either, but I'm a freshman. I already don't like it, but the idea that these thoughts might not go away when I'm a senior, it's hard to think about. Post 2 is titled, "Making Friends in Senior Year." Alright, Ben. "I'm curious how possible it is to make more friends, especially build a new friend group during the last year. I'm naturally very reserved and often don't talk to people first, but I'm pretty talkative and keep the conversation going as long as the other person is on the same page. My negative trait is that I can often recognize and understand whether the other person thinks I'm a valuable person to be friends with or not. It makes me feel bad if they don't, so I back off sooner to save face. I also realize that I look pretty cold and independent on the outside, so it's hard for people to approach me. So far, I've made friends, but they are all one-on-one and not like friend groups that stick throughout the year. I usually have specific 1 to 2 friends in each class or club or activity. Some friendships are converted to be more personal, so we hang out outside of those spaces, but it's usually very difficult. My main concern is that many people I met have very different hobbies as me. Even though I'm very willing and happy to get into their interests, they seem to rather find other people that already have those interests, like thrifting, drinking. It's also hard to travel around or hang out in LA when I don't have a car and Uber gets expensive. There's not a lot that is convenient and safe for early friendships when neither of us know what the other person prefers, is comfortable with, like price vibes and vibes for friend groups. I get too aware that some people might not be on the same page about things, so it's hard for me to be the leader and organize things, so things usually fall out. I'm the type of person to really care that everyone is comfortable, vibes are matching and on board, and it's just hard when everyone's adulting, lol. Basically, I'm not crazy and introverted and spontaneous enough to easily make friends." So it sounds like OP has some friends already, but isn't satisfied with them, or is just looking for more. So while I enjoy the people I hang out with, having different interests from someone can be really annoying. So this person is a senior, and I imagine is likely going into their final semester of college. Now, as someone who's also naturally quiet around classmates, I don't want this to happen to me. So I'm sorry that this person has to go through this. There's only one comment at the moment, and they encourage OP to join clubs centered around hobbies they're interested in. It sounds like good advice, and I wish this person well. The third post is short, but absolutely crazy if it's true. Insane discussion post minimum. Has anyone encountered an 800-word minimum requirement for discussion posts? The most I've done in my 3 years of undergrad has been 400 to 450. Okay, so this is wild. First off, this is undergraduate level, and OP has been in college for 3 years. I've already been skeptical of the effectiveness of discussion posts as I get major anxiety due to a past of bullying. However, making videos has honestly helped that anxiety, so I can't complain. This post has gotten a lot of comments, but OP hasn't responded specifying the grade percentage, the class level, or even the subject of the class. Most users say no, this is not normal, and the ones, and there are very few who have gone through this. But this next post not only addresses crazy requests, but unnecessary costs too. 8 books for 2 classes. Is this a normal amount of textbooks? Post reads, I'm mostly just shocked and worried about the cost of all these books. I took less classes this spring to save money. One is a theology class, the other is a media and culture course. I'm taking only 2 courses this semester, and each class needs 4 books, so 8 books total. Whoa, is this typical for you guys too? I'm not the fastest reader, I do better through discussion, in class group projects, and thought exercises. So all this reading is gonna push my limits. What's crazy beyond the obvious is that commenters tell OP this is normal for the humanities. It's likely not 8 textbooks, but 8 shorter books. And I don't blame OP for being worried about the cost of this. I spent $150 on textbooks that I rented for 3.5 months. Some people have probably spent more on that, but the fact that it's normalized for people to pay hundreds on top of their tens of thousands for tuition, it just doesn't make sense. This next post is long, at least for this subreddit standards, and it shows how the benefit of the doubt is not given in all cases. Professor accused me of misconduct because my eyes were downcast. I'm a senior psych major who dealt with a really testy professor this semester. She didn't like that I only spent 12 to 15 hours on our course a week instead of the 20 she wanted, and made it known whenever she regarded me or took points off my grade anywhere she could. I've got a good record and all passing grades thus far, and I really tried my best, but her first impression of me just continued through the term, no matter how hard I tried to prove I was a good student. We used UJA Verify for all 4 exams, which I've used in previous classes and never had a problem. I have a horrible habit of picking my nails when I'm anxious, and unfortunately I have pretty severe test anxiety. I have a therapist to help with it, and I've told my college advisor about it before, but it causes me to look down towards my nails a lot as I pick them. I never realized just how often I look down, and the proctor never flagged me for anything like it was supposed to, so I thought nothing was wrong. This professor watched my proctor session and chose, on the very last day before grades were submitted, to file an academic misconduct accusation against me, which ices me out of everything from my financial aid to scheduling classes and checking my progress until it's resolved. She claims that 1. Because when I did the room scan, I didn't pan down to my crotch area. I had the laptop on my lap. They can't rule out that I didn't have my phone. 2. Because my eyes kept fluttering down and my response times were all over the place, I was looking at my phone and or notes I had taken, or perhaps I had some sort of contraption attached to my laptop that would make it easy for me to scroll my phone. Also said that students normally look up with a furrowed brow when contemplating answers, not down at their hands. 3. Because I took the third longest test time out of all of her students, it means I must have cheated. 4. Because there's a pause in footage that everyone gets between their room scan and taking a picture of their ID. I had enough time to sneak away and grab my phone or my notes. I already have my therapist sending a letter regarding my anxiety and my habit of picking my nails and looking down. How else can I fight this accusation? It's a lot of nothing can be ruled out, and well, I think this occurred, but it's up to the dean from her end. I don't understand why me taking a longer time to think my questions through means I've cheated, and why a flaw in the proctor she chose is my fault slash means I snuck away. I can slightly understand the downcast eyes, but I have reason for that, and I've discussed already with my college advisor how I can fix that or request accommodations in the future. I would never cheat openly like that or at all, especially since this is my last semester before I graduate coming up. Is there anything else I can say or do without appearing angry or irrational to prove my case? I have a meeting with the dean on Tuesday. I'm not perfect, but I try my best in my classes, and I'm a hard worker. I absolutely did not cheat, and any advice to have this resolved in the best way possible would be greatly appreciated. The Commons tell OP that they're innocent until proven guilty, and University of Missouri vs. Horowitz proved this. OP says they have to go through an interrogation, but the burden of proof is not on them. It seems likely that OP doesn't know the supposed evidence against them other than what the professor said. But I hate how common it is, not only in academia but in law in general, how easily you can be charged. Last year in high school, one of the counselors I talked with let me know of something I can register that basically tells police if you get pulled over while driving, hey, I'm not suspicious, I'm just autistic, or something along those lines. While I've been questioned about potentially cheating, the worst thing I was accused of was unintentional plagiarism. I really need to get better with that because that happens at least once a year. But it's not about me. This next post from a deleted user makes the whole video come full circle. Feeling of something being not right about college. Does it pass? Hi, I'm a freshman at a small liberal arts college. As much as I love the school and experience, I have a gut feeling something isn't right and that I'll end up wanting to leave. I have reasons for this. This isn't just a premonition. I want to know if this has happened to other people and if the feeling passes, or if this is a red flag or something. I'm happy to answer any questions, just didn't want this post to come across as college admissions and transfer toned. So this post doesn't go into any detail about the reasons why they may want to leave. I mean, I literally wrote down like 10 of them on my phone, but that's just me. I probably won't share them because I already shared enough on my why I want to leave college, but remember the first post you heard? The OP in that thread was a senior who was struggling with depression in college. Now, obviously, there's more to both stories than what I read, but it sounds like there's a chance it doesn't get better. If you watched my video on college pros and cons, you'll see I linked a lot of research that addresses statistics, thoughts on the system, regret rates, that kind of thing. You can take a look at the perception of college between different genders, races, and a lot more. So thanks a lot for watching all the way through. This is the first time I've done any kind of this video, but I'm not sure if I did it in a good way, so just I know I know it was a lot of reading off the screen, and I hope that's alright, so just let me know any ways I can improve.